Hi everyone, my name is Maria Stagliano. I'm one of the press coordinators here today. So what we're doing is taking quotes and photos if everyone's comfortable with it, and then sharing that information in a packet with the press so that they're able to cover this and really get the full picture of what today was. It's, I think, very significant for us to all be here at the National Press Club, and thank you. I know it's probably been a long day, so thank you for coming here to this segment. We're very excited to hear from different families, hear some stories, get some good quotes, and make sure that the journalists know about it.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. Give Maria a bit. It's been a long day. We've accomplished a lot, and we are here at the National Press Club. This is a hallowed room. We see there's a painting of Senator Kovalarz, whom we have to reach to help us. Okay. And there's former Governor Huckabee here, but President Kennedy has been here. So this is a room that we believe we can send our message to Congress. And our message to Congress has to get to Secretary of State Blinken and President Biden and President Zelensky. I know you've heard this all before, but we have to say it over and over again, because to get that message out to the people who can help you all. It's been a very heartwarming experience for me to hear the stories. And now we have to hear your stories so that your stories get to the right people. And I'm going to call up now Jenny. But before I say it, let me, again, we will be introducing, let me repeat myself, but it's worth repeating. Every one of you will have this Sense of Congress resolution that you will get your congressional representatives to introduce and to get moved in Congress. And the Sense of Congress resolution basically tells your story and what needs to get done. And we believe that once this even gets introduced, and particularly if it gets moved, that the president will have to do something. And that have to do will be to sit down with President Zelensky through their representatives to get your children home. So Jenny, I would like you to call up some families. I know they've told their stories over and over again, but they're worth repeating, because we have to get the right people to hear them so that something gets done. Jenny is the director or chair of Ukraine Care 300, which you all are members of, and you're doing great things for the children you represent, and quite frankly for America and for the country of Ukraine. Jenny?
Thank you. I want to start out by saying that we came here today as a delegation. 200 families who were in the process of adopting from Ukraine when the war broke out and adoptions were shut down. 200 families across America, 200 families that are heartbroken. We have waited to be able to reconnect with our children for 17 months. We're almost at the 1.5-year mark. We spent this morning hearing a lot of firsthand accounts and testimony on the very difficult and dangerous conditions that these orphans find themselves in through no fault of their own across Ukraine and across Europe. But there are 300 orphans that have families in America who are willing to care for them, to remove them from these dangerous situations and offer the better life that we promised when we agreed to adopt them and bring them into our families. So I think the best way to understand the challenges and the problems that we're talking about today is to hear from some of the families and understand that these, we're going to hear from 2 families out of 200. And this is part of our plea to the Biden administration to immediately work with Ukraine for a solution to bring these children home. So I'd like to start with Amber Matthews, and Amber is going to tell the story of her 3 daughters.
Thank you, Jenny. We are the Matthews family. We are military, so when you ask us where we're from, it's a little ambiguous. But we vote in Texas. Texas is our home of record, and we have been pushing a lot of congressional things through Texas, along with the other PAPs in Texas as well. Our 3 girls were evacuated to Italy through an organization and through the legal processes through Ukraine. It was a harrowing experience, just like anywhere, all the refugees in Ukraine. Their experiences became very troublesome and became detrimental. So not only did they have the problems with the bombs and the trauma from the wars, singing in the basements, trying to cover up the sounds of the bombs from the little girls that were there. Our girls are older, they're teenagers. The youngest is 13, about to turn 14. We have 2 teenagers at home as well. And they're brothers and sisters in their eyes. Their conditions right now in Italy are terrible. And we can't share everything right now because they are in danger. They have food because we send it to them. They have medical care because I called the pharmacia down the street and talked to the doctor and send them money. They have shampoo, conditioner because of Amazon. I lived in Italy for a while and I still have my Amazon account, so I was able to send them supplies. The caregivers are no longer there in the evenings. Our girls became the caregivers. Not only of 5 Ukrainian children that are there, but also the Syrian refugees that are in the orphanage, not really an orphanage, it's called a children's home, which is our equivalent to a juvenile detention center. They are their parents. They ask every day, why am I put in this position? I'm not a parent, I'm a child. You're exactly right. They ask a lot of really good questions. The oldest is actually getting paid now by one of the organizations to cook dinner for everybody. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. But I definitely have many, many more stories of their conditions right now. And as you can believe, without care, without leadership, that they are not being protected from anything. They are on their own. And they care so much about the people around them that they're doing their best to take care of the kids around them. The news is that they are going back to Ukraine because where the bombs are dropping is a lot safer than where they are today. My hope and my prayer is that there is a resolution. There is something that is going to come across. It's going to be quick and fast, and the need is going to be seen to the right people. These children need protection. They need food. They need care. But most of all, every single one of the families in here represent a family. That's what they need. They need a family. So I want to play something real quick. Our girls sent a little message over real quick because they said, share this with Carolina. She's the smart one. So I'm gonna play it so you can hear it, okay? Let's see.
Дякуємо за підтримку. Це дуже важливо для нас. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was the end of it. Let me play it from the very beginning.
Hello. My name is Marina. My name is Diana. My name is Sofia. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for supporting my family and supporting all to get this home. Дякуємо за підтримку. Це дуже важливо для нас. Thank you very much.
That's who we're fighting for. These girls. So thank you very much and pray for these resolutions and don't stop fighting, please.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to remind everyone, I believe Jenny said that, And we're talking about 300 children and 200 families who need a home together. And that's what I believe the government of Ukraine and the government of America wants. They want your children to be united with you. We just have to get their attention. Jenny, who do we have next?
Karen Sue Phillips.
Karen, please come up.
Hi, everyone. February 24th, 2022. Where were your children? Odds are, if you're not one of the 200 families represented here today, you don't likely have an answer to that question. This date is likely irrelevant to you because it didn't impact you personally. But for me and my family, this date and several other dates around it, they mean something to us. February 24th, 2022. Where were my children? My biological children were all doing their normal activities, being normal American children. But they were all well aware of the events that were unfolding a world away from our safe and secure home. A message came through from our 14-year-old daughter, Yulia. We've been shot. A while later, another message. They came by boat. The absolute terror that gripped me in those moments was like nothing I had ever experienced. All I could do was weep and cry out to God for these precious children of Verdansk to be protected. All of the families represented here have dates like these, where they know for certain their children's lives were in danger and there was nothing they could do to protect them except for prayer. February 27th, 2022, our children were officially in occupied territory. Have you ever had to pray that your children were not bombed or shot? Have you ever had to pray that your children were safe from the soldiers that had invaded their city? Have you ever had to pray that your children were not used as human shields, abused by their captors, used for the soldiers' entertainment in any way you could possibly imagine? We have. We've prayed and prayed for these children to be safe, to be protected, and to be able to come home soon, where we can protect them from this adult war. It was 19 days later that the children made it to safety outside of Ukraine. I'm not going to tell that part of the story, but I promise you that it was very hard on those children and the adults that were with them. When Yulia arrived in Italy, she immediately started asking when she could come home, when she could come to us. She knew we wanted them here, and so it just made sense to her. It made sense to us too, but apparently our politicians didn't agree. It has been 17 months of war. It's been 17 months of these children being ignored while they cry for their families that they know and love. We've missed birthdays. We've missed milestones. We've missed precious bonding time. We've missed being able to hold and comfort them. They've missed having a family. They've missed feeling loved and connected. They've missed feeling safe. They're giving up hope that they'll ever be able to come home. My Ukrainian kids have been separated from their biological siblings, as well as their American families. Ukraine has always prided itself on keeping families together in adoptions, but these children have been separated. Our kids have been fed spoiled food, given cigarettes and vapes, and treated like a cheap child labor force while in Italy. the 3 of my children who are in Italy right now, they're scheduled most likely to go back to Ukraine, with one of them certainly on the list to go back to Ukraine. There's rumor that Yulia will possibly go to trade school, potentially into an area where the bombs are falling on a regular basis. How can this government sit by, idly, seemingly unconcerned about the welfare of our children, while simultaneously leaving our southern border wide open? Our children were in the beginning phases of becoming legal American citizens by following the rules and laws of this country. Shame on our politicians for ignoring our children. If our children are sent back and harmed, it will be on your hands. If I could directly speak to all of our politicians, I would ask them to remember back before they got into office. I truly believe that most politicians at least start out with the best of intentions, wanting to help people. I would ask the politicians who have the power to change our kids' stories to reach down inside and find that desire that they once had, or maybe still have. That desire to help those who can't help themselves. And I would ask them to please help our children. These children are being directly harmed by your lack of action. Please, these children have been damaged enough. They need a place where they can heal while the war rages on. With every day they wait, they have another day of trauma to heal from. Your lack of action puts you in a place of responsibility for all of the stories that you've been being told. Would you leave your children in the hands of the babysitter you left our children in the hands of? Enough is enough. Bring our children home. Thank you.
And to our politicians here in America and the politicians in Ukraine, you've heard the story. There are 300 children, 200 families with open arms. And these aren't random children. They were in the process of being adopted to American families. We've done enough for Ukraine. We will do whatever is possibly necessary for them to win this war. We're just asking them to help our families help their children. Thank you for coming, and let's get to work. That's it. Any questions? Right?
I actually have a quick.
Oh, hold on. Je m'excuse. Okay, vous avez une question? I'm showing off my French.
I was not here for the whole day. I would love if everyone could go around and just say where they're from.
Oh, yes, that's important. We have more than one half of the states of the United States represented here. So at least here today, raise your hand and say what state you're from.
There's a mic here we could use.
Shout it out. Texas. Texas is very important. The chair of the House Foreign Relations Committee is from the 10th Congressional District in Texas. And we have to, and Senator Cruz has said he will do whatever we ask him to do. All he has to do is get his congressman to introduce our resolution and to post it for a vote, and these children will be on their way home. Okay, Texas.
Ryan and Katie Linnell from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Becky from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Cece from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Patty O'Mara, Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts.
It's Dan and Dennis from Maryland, and Dennis was adopted last year from Ukraine.
God bless you. And that would be Maryland.
Gina Callahan from California.
All the way from California.
Holton Jenny Bradshaw from Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, that's right across the road.
Sabrina Dickinson, Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. These folks have come a long way to get their children home.
Farah and Andreas Mejia from New Jersey.
New Jersey, God bless you, the Garden State.
Deidre Guillory from Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Nate and Rebecca from Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. Any more? We have more.
The Landons from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
The only family, Manassas, Virginia.
From Virginia.
Matt and Deirdre Gordon from New Jersey.
From New Jersey.
The Evanses from Colorado.
Colorado. That's where I tore my ACL on that.
The Schlocks from Hammondsport, New York.
New York.
Kelly Smith Watchter from New York.
New York.
Lori Kierms, New York.
New York.
All right, one more side.
The Heinemans from Now Then, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Senator Kovalaj. Right?
Yeah. Klobuchar.
What's her name?
Klobuchar.
Klobuchar. She, Senator Booker has told us she's in charge. So get on her.
We're trying.
She's in charge.
We've been trying.
All right, let's,
Karen Fellows, Portland, Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Katie Jo Page, Snohomish, Washington.
Washington. Washington. Well, you're the farthest away? Okay.
Haley Stadtmiller, Auburn, Indiana.
Indiana,
Angie Arguello, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
Mississippi,
The Beans from Illinois.
Illinois,
Erica from Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
Jill Krenzer from upstate New York.
New York,
Justin from Minnesota.
Another Minnesota. Get after Kovalaj. Booker is passing the buck to her. So, and I got the signal. Okay, we good?
For those who are able to stay, we would love some pictures of families posed with Ray. Okay?
Okay, but I have to go, right? What time?
You have a couple minutes.
I have 15 minutes. Okay, everyone is gonna stay here. They have to go back on the bus, right? Yes?
Why don't you just
So,
get everybody up?
We're gonna take some
Everybody up,
photos for-
everybody up, everybody up.
We just put all the families up.
Yep, everybody up at the same time.
All right, anyone who's comfortable being out will be amazing to go.
Yep, come on, come on.
Oh, everybody up at the podium.
Yes, 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 come on. Lucas.
Here we go, there we go. How we gonna
There
fit?
we
In front.
We'll fit.
In front too, yeah. Yeah, Carolina used to go like
That was so
Oh, no, you have to go higher.
Short people the front.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, all of us are gonna be in the front.
All right, squeeze in, get in front, we have room here.
Short people the front.
Short people in front. Hold on, let's get everybody, hold on.
Yep, that should have been here.
Pretend like we like each other.
You maybe pull up some chairs the other way and sit on chairs. We have,
Break it up,
no?
let's break it up a little bit. Short, you just-
It's okay, I'll go over here. How's
We-
that work?
Are we good? We have everyone?
Smile.
Wow.
Get over here. Perfect. Okay.
Yep.
Can everybody just like
Squeeze.